Yo, what's good, YouTube, man? It's your boy T-Ski. You can call me T for short, and I'm back with another video. Now today we got Jordan versus LeBron, the best GOAT comparison. Now we finna see what this talking about. And y'all let me know right now who you got, Brown or Jordan, who better, who, you know what I mean, who your GOAT. If neither one of them your GOAT, comment your GOAT. You know what I mean? Your GOAT could be Kobe, Magic, Larry. You know what I mean? It could be anybody. Just let me know. But also let me know who better. If you're new to the channel, check out my reactions, bro. Check out the other videos. If you like this one, check out the other ones. Let me get a like, subscribe. We finna run this up. We on the road to 10K. We almost at 6K right now. We got like 5.8, something like that. But yeah. Let's get to it, bro. Y'all ready? I don't know if y'all ready, bro. Y'all don't be like, y'all don't even be turned in the comments. Like, let's really run the summer up, bro. Y'all trying to run the summer up? Cool. No missed days whole summer? Cool. That's all you have to say. Cool. No missed days. Enough talking, bro. Let's get into it, though. And it spilled the damn drink on me. Be alright. LeBron James. Like, who y'all really think better, bro? We got a 6'8", 260, you know what I mean? Freak of nature. And then you got the 6'6". What is he, like 215? You know what I mean? Athletic. Look at him. Mid-range assassin. Post-fade demon. You know what I mean? The sit-down. 9-time all defense.
Jordan versus LeBron. LeBron versus Jordan. It's a debate that has captured the public's attention for the last several years, especially after this moment in 2016, when LeBron James beat the Golden State Warriors to win the third championship of his career. In LeBron's own words,
that one right there made me the greatest player of all time.
What?
That's what I felt. I was like, that one right there made you the greatest player of all time.
That was that one?
But did it?
Alright.
Is everything since that moment simply icing on LeBron's cake? Or is LeBron destined to finish his career in Michael Jordan's shadow? We've all heard the arguments from LeBron supporters.
He's bigger, he's stronger, he's faster, he's more durable.
And from Jordan supporters.
Michael Jordan was merely 6-0 with 6 MVPs in the finals.
But the GOAT debate isn't as simple as the pundits make it seem. There are a number of factors relevant in determining the greatest basketball player of all time. In fact, I would say there are 5 things that really matter when determining the GOAT of any sport. These criteria are, in no particular order, accomplishments,
Okay.
longevity,
Right.
winning,
Right.
statistics, and what we'll refer to in this video as the eye test.
Alright. So look, let's go over it right now. Let's go. Me and you. Let's go over it. Accomplishments. Come on, we know Jordan has that. Okay? Longevity. LeBron has that. Winning. Jordan, he has that. Statistics. Ooh-wee. You could go either way, but I'm going to say LeBron has that. I'm going to say that. And the eye test, who look nasty, what eye test are we talking about? Like the mixtape eye test, or is we watching like a live game? The mixtape, Jordan got it. He might have a live game. I'd never seen a live game. I was not able to. You know what I mean? It just sucked being a youngin' out here, but we gonna get an eye test to Jordan. But let's keep going. Come on.
And to be the GOAT, you don't need to be the best in any specific category, but you need to be pretty good across the board. So simply winning 7 championships, like Robert Horry did, isn't enough to get you into the conversation.
When
we're finished with this video, it'll be plainly obvious that one guy comes out on top. But before we get started,
Obvious?
I want to clarify that this is not a comparison of legacies. It's about who was the better basketball player. If we were talking about legacies, Jordan's is nearly untouchable.
Okay.
Not only did he lead basketball to global popularity, he helped transform Nike into an empire, changed the way players played and how they dressed, and he even made it cool for guys to be bald. And while those things certainly contribute to MJ's iconic status, they don't make him a better player on the court.
Okay.
So let's evaluate the criteria that matter.
So let's talk
and we'll
ball.
start with individual accomplishments.
Let's talk ball.
Take a look.
MVPs? Ooh.
Jordan had more regular season MVPs,
Ooh.
twice as many finals MVPs, 9 more scoring titles, and several more selections to the NBA's all-defensive team.
All right, hold on. We got to update this. LeBron has 4 finals MVPs now. Okay? All the other stuff is still the same. Except for All-Stars. He probably got like, I don't know what year this video is, man. He probably got like 3 more. So like 19. So he got like 19. But he might have 20 All-Star appearances. So you know what I mean? We're gonna go off that. 4 MVPs, 20 All-Star appearances. Is that really helping his case right here? I don't think so. You know what I mean? With the video, I ain't gonna give my opinion, bro. We just stating the facts. That's it. I'm just telling y'all what it is. I'll let y'all know at the end.
Player of the year. LeBron has more All-Star appearances, but that's largely due to his having played more seasons.
Right.
In fact, when taking into account retirements and major injuries, Jordan essentially played 13 seasons compared to 17 seasons for LeBron, making Jordan's significant lead in accomplishments all the more impressive. And that's to say nothing of MJ's brilliant college career, which saw him twice named All-American and once awarded College Player of the Year, at a time when the country's best players actually went to college. So regardless of whether you're a LeBron fan or MJ fan, you have to give the accomplishments checkmark to Jordan.
Okay.
The second criteria in our GOAT analysis is
That's what I said, right?
And this one is also a no-brainer, but this time in favor of LeBron. Not only has LeBron played more seasons in the league, but he's had a longer peak than Jordan. Jordan's peak lasted about 10 years, whereas LeBron's peak has lasted 16 years and is still going. And he's been incredibly durable during that time, missing significant time to injury only in 2019.
Hey, y'all think Bron, like, is he still peak? Well, we know he not peak LeBron, but like, is he a top 10 player in the league right now? Is he top 5? He not top 5. Is he top 10 right now today? He might be top 10, bro. We can go down the list. What we got? Like, you could go Jokic, Embiid, Luka, Shea, Giannis, and who we got after that? Who's after them guys? You know what I mean? That's when it started getting spicy. Cause do we say, you know what I mean? Do we go Tatum? Do we go? You know what I mean? Do we go there?
That said, the claim that LeBron has been much more durable than Michael has been a bit overblown. Consider that Jordan played in at least 80 regular season games 11 times in his career, including all 82 games an incredible 9 times. Compare that to LeBron, who played in at least 80 regular season games just twice, and in all 82 games just once. So both LeBron and Jordan get high marks for their durability. But durability aside, the bottom line is that LeBron has sustained his level of excellence for a much longer period of time than Jordan,
For sure.
which puts the longevity checkmark squarely in LeBron's corner.
I'm 2 for 2 right now.
That brings us to the third GOAT criteria, winning.
Ooh.
As we all know, Jordan won 6 championships. LeBron has won 3.
You can't argue that.
Jordan is 6-0 in the NBA Finals. LeBron is 3-6. Yes, LeBron has made the finals 9 times compared to only 6 times for Jordan. But let's not pretend that making the finals is the same thing, or even close to the same thing, as winning a title. Take a prime example from another sport, the Buffalo Bills. They're the only team in NFL history to appear in 4 consecutive Super Bowls. But is there a single player or fan of that team that wouldn't trade all 4 of those appearances for just 1 Super Bowl win? Frankly, talk to any fan whose team lost the season's final game and ask them how they felt.
They went 4 times in a row and didn't win none. They had the greatest. They almost had the greatest. They had the greatest almost team ever. What the
Afterward. Almost universally, their feelings are of sadness, anger, and disappointment. And that's just the fans.
I would've stopped
For
being a
players,
fan.
those feelings are only magnified. Listen to Charles Barkley talk about losing in the NBA Finals.
And I was just in shock when it was over because I was frustrated because I couldn't wheel my team past Michael and the Bulls. And first of all, I don't think I've ever gotten over it, number one. But that was traumatic.
Traumatic?
And it's painful.
So we can all stop with this false equivalence between winning the championship and finishing runner-up. In the words of Herm Edwards,
you play to win the game. Hello? You play to win the game.
Hello?
now back to Jordan and LeBron. As mentioned, on basketball's biggest stage, the NBA Finals, Jordan was 6-0. LeBron was 3-6. And frankly, that doesn't even show how lopsided their records really are. In terms of individual finals games, Jordan was 24-11. LeBron is 18-31. And that's because in 4 of his 6 finals losses, LeBron's team hasn't even been competitive. Twice he got swept, and 2 other times he lost 4 games to 1.
All right.
That includes being
Okay. I'm not defending Bron, but we gotta stay some, because I don't know if he gonna say it. We have to stay some facts, okay? The first time he got swept, San Antonio, he playing what is that? Them the young Cavs. It's like 07. Oh yeah, 07, 08, something like that. Them some young dudes. They wasn't ready for Timmy D and all them. You know what I mean? It was only right. And then KD Warriors, come on, we all know that. Let's be serious here. Let's be serious. How many teams is beating KD Warriors with one player? You're not winning a game. You know what I mean? I'm sorry.
on the wrong side of the 2 most lopsided finals by margin of loss in NBA history. Of course, LeBron fans will tell you that the only reason for LeBron's poor finals record is that his competition was so tough. Ironically, some of these same fans criticized Jordan for losing early in his career to a Celtics team stacked with 5 Hall of Famers, and they conveniently gloss over the fact that LeBron reached the finals so many times in part because the competition in his own conference was so weak. During the vast majority of his career, LeBron played in what many dubbed the Leastern Conference because the East was so much weaker than the West. On the other hand, during Jordan's playing days, the East was generally considered the stronger conference, as Jordan had to battle through hard-fought rivalries against the Bad Boy Pistons, Patrick Ewing's Knicks, the Shaq Penny-led Magic, and Reggie Miller's Pacers. That said, if you want to blame LeBron's failure in the finals on the level of his competition, I won't argue with you. But let's also not blow it out of proportion. If you look at the average number of wins of their finals opponents, you'll see that LeBron's finals opponents averaged 60.8 wins per season, whereas Jordan's finals opponents averaged 61.2 wins per season. So as it turns out, both players face stiff competition in the finals. But a big reason we don't hold the 93 Suns, the 96 Sonics, or the 98 Jazz in the same regard as some of LeBron's finals opponents is because, unlike LeBron's adversaries, Jordan's opponents never actually won the Larry O'Brien Trophy. Which goes to my original point, that the difference between winning the title and finishing runner-up is huge. And the reason those teams never won the title? This guy. Look, I'm not trying to say that Jordan's opponents were as good as the Warriors teams that LeBron faced 4 times in the finals. The truth is that Jordan never played a juggernaut quite like that.
Okay.
But there's a pretty good reason for that. Jordan's Bulls were the juggernaut. They were the team winning 70-plus games. They were the team with the target on their back every year. And as the Warriors showed us, that's not an easy place to be. As great as the Warriors were, they were never able to string together 3 consecutive championships.
Okay.
Jordan's Bulls did it twice.
Okay.
So what's the greater achievement? Beating the juggernaut or being the juggernaut? Or to be more specific, beating the
Okay, how we feel about that question? What's better, beating the juggernaut or being the juggernaut? I feel like beating the juggernaut is better though. You know what I mean? Because if they gave you an option, they said you could be on a top 3 team in NBA history ever. And like, you know, and be the star on the team, or you could beat a top 3 team in NBA history and come back down from 3-1. What you doing? Like, which chip you taking? You was the favorite and won, or you was the underdog and did the only thing nobody else ever did? Y'all let me know, bro. Y'all let me know. I don't know what I want to be.
Juggernaut one time out of the 4 times you faced them? Or being the Juggernaut year after year after year, and then doing it again year after year
Which one would y'all
after
be?
year? There's
Let
no
me know.
doubt that LeBron's victory over the 73-win Warriors was the highlight of his career. But it's not the first time that an underdog has won the championship, and there actually have been much bigger underdogs who ended up winning the title. But how many times have we seen a player lead his team to 6 championships in 8 years? Prior to Jordan's Bulls, only Bill Russell's Celtics ever accomplished that feat in the NBA, when they incredibly won 11 championships in 13 seasons.
Shout out Bill Russell.
However, back then, there was an average of less than 10 teams in the league, and only a couple rounds of playoffs, so it was considerably easier to win a title. And no player,
Yeah, that was
not
a
even Bill
cakewalk.
Russell, ever had a run of winning 25 of 26 playoff series, as Michael Jordan did. And Michael's pattern of winning goes beyond the NBA. Let's not forget that Jordan has never won anything but gold in the Olympics, and he also earned an NCAA championship, in which he hit the first of 2 iconic championship-winning shots in his career. All that is to say, when it comes to winning, the
Jordan got
checkmark
it.
clearly goes to Jordan.
Jordan got that. Yep. That's what I said. Though.
On
That's
to the
what I
4th
said.
GOAT criteria,
But don't make it.
statistics.
You know what I mean?
This one is a bit more
Don't
complicated.
be biased.
I mean, how do you statistically evaluate 2 players who played in different eras under different rules at different positions? One way of
Oh
doing
my
it is
goodness.
to simply look at the 8 traditional statistics of basketball. Points, assists, rebounds, steals, blocks,
Ooh,
field goal percentage,
let's talk
free throw
ball.
percentage, and turnovers. And we'll focus on per game stats rather than cumulative stats, since cumulative stats such as total career points and total career assists really speak to longevity, which is already its own category of the GOAT analysis. Per game stats, on the other hand, is more of an apples to apples comparison. So looking at the 8 traditional stats, we see that Jordan leads LeBron in 5 of them.
All
Points
right.
per game,
Let's pause right here. Okay. I thought he was gonna do like all time, like all time stats, like just add them all up, not average. Okay. So what we got? Okay, Jordan got that. LeBron got the assists, rebounds. Jordan got the steals and the blocks. LeBron shoot better from the field. Jordan shoot better from the free throw line. He didn't put 3-point percentage up here, and I feel like he low-key helping Jordan out with that. Because I know LeBron shoots a higher 3-point percentage than Jordan. So we're going to give LeBron the 3-point shooting too. We're gonna add us one. In turnovers, Bron got more. LeBron also passes more. That's going to lead to more turnovers. But, so who y'all feel? What kind of stats would you want? You want these stats right here, 27, 7, and 7? Or you want 35 and 6 with 2 steals and a block? Or you want 27, 7, and 7, 2 a steal and a half? I ain't going to round all the way. You don't get that much. You don't get that much round up. You a steal and a half. You know what I mean? You got 1 steal and 1 was you just deflected it out of bounds. That's your half. And a block. You know what I mean? Who you taking? Who would you rather
steals
be?
per game.
Let's take it there. Don't say who the GOAT is. Who career would you rather have? Who would you rather be? You know what I mean? Let's put it in that way. Since you know what I mean? So that's no bias. Who would you rather
Blocks
be?
per game, free throw percentage, and fewer turnovers. LeBron leads in the other 3, assists per game, rebounds per game, and field goal percentage. But that's a pretty simplistic way of looking at statistics.
Yeah.
What if we instead turn to analytics?
Okay.
Probably the most well-known analytic stat is player efficiency rating, or PER for short. This metric was created by respected basketball analyst John Hollinger to give an overall rating to a player's performance based on traditional stats like the ones we just mentioned. Jordan has led the league in PER 7 times, LeBron 6 times. Jordan has finished top 3 in PER 10 times, LeBron 9 times. In fact, Jordan has the highest career PER in both the regular season and the playoffs. Another popular analytics stat is win shares. Jordan has led the league in win shares 8 times, LeBron 5 times. Jordan has finished top 3 in win shares 11 times, LeBron 6 times. And when it comes to win shares per 48 minutes, Jordan has the highest career rating in both the regular season and the playoffs. What about box plus minus? Until recently, LeBron was actually ahead of Jordan in career box plus minus. But after the 2017 season gave Russell Westbrook the greatest single-season box plus minus in history by a wide margin, the architect of box plus minus realized that the stat was fundamentally flawed.
And let's take a second, man. That's my guy. Russell Westbrook. That's my guy. Let's take a second. Hey, Russ, you a GOAT, boy.
So he made some changes to improve its formula. As a result, Michael Jordan now has the highest career box plus minus in both the regular season and the playoffs.
Dang.
And lastly, what about value over replacement player, which on its face seems to favor LeBron James? Well, value over replacement player is a cumulative stat, and as previously noted, cumulative stats speak more to longevity than they do game-to-game dominance.
Okay.
That said, according to value over replacement player, Jordan owns 6 of the 9 greatest individual seasons ever played. And on a per-game basis, MJ's career rating in value over replacement player is the highest of all time in both the regular season and the playoffs. Are you noticing a theme here? Not only does Jordan beat LeBron in every ratable analytic stat, he consistently ranks as the best ever across the board. Before we move on from analytics, I want to mention a lesser-known stat called game score, another brainchild of John Hollinger. Game score measures a player's performance in a single game, so it won't tell us who's had the better career, but it does provide insight into who's had the greatest games. Now, we only have game score stats since 1983, so you won't see any mentions of Wilt Chamberlain here.
Okay.
That said, of the 100 highest game scores ever recorded, incredibly 19 of them belong to Michael Jordan. In other words, nearly 1 out of every 5 of the best single-game performances over the last 4 decades has been by MJ. That includes the highest game score of all time for Jordan's 69.18 rebound masterpiece. Comparatively, LeBron has had only 3 of the top 100 game scores. When discussing the GOAT, Nick Wright is fond of asking this question.
The aliens come down. You have one game to...
With this game score he talking about, I'm pretty sure it's heavy, like it's the more points you score, the better your game score will be. So Jordan always being a high score, he ended the season averaging like 36. So like, of course the game score is gonna be crazy, cause he scored a lot of points. Bron, he ain't, you know what I mean? He could get you 40 and stuff sometimes, but it's not like he not trying to get that all the time. You know, he trying to get his 10 assists sometimes. You know, let me dime my guys up. Let me dime my guys in the corner. You know what I mean? Brown ain't gonna just keep shooting. So you know that stat is kind of, you know, it's kind of you could use it. You could use it if you know what I mean. But it's you know,
to save humanity. Who's your first pick in the history of the world?
Well, Nick, I think we have our answer. Now that I've finished drowning you in numbers, let's be real. Hardly anyone watching this video knows how to calculate PER, win shares, box plus minus, value over replacement player, or game score. And why should you? This is basketball, not Goodwill Hunting. So let's go back to the traditional stats that we all know and understand. But this time, let's add context to them. What do I mean by context? Well, some positions are simply better than others at racking up certain stats.
okay.
Let's take rebounding as an example.
Good boy.
In a vacuum, if we simply compare the number of rebounds per game of Brook Lopez and Jason Kidd, we might think that Lopez was the better rebounder. The truth is, relative to their positions, Lopez is statistically one of the worst rebounding centers in NBA history, whereas Kidd is statistically one of the best rebounding guards in NBA history. But even a poor rebounding center can grab more rebounds than a great rebounding guard solely by virtue of their roles on the court.
Right.
So it makes sense that, to understand the context of a player's stats, we should compare them to the respective positions that they played. When comparing LeBron James to the other small forwards who have played at least 500 NBA games, this is where he ranks. Overall, that's pretty impressive. Now let's see how Jordan compares to all shooting guards who have played at least 500 NBA games. As good as LeBron is compared to other small forwards...
Okay. Let's pause it. Okay. What small forward got more points than Brown? Do we know? Or is this per game? Or this is all-time stats. Because, you know what I mean? It's got to be per game. It's because nobody has more points than LeBron. So, I'm guessing who he's... I don't know who they talking about. More points than Bron at small forward? I don't know. Assist, 4th. Well, shooting guards are not... That's not their role to pass. So, like... You know what I mean? His assists, 5 a game. That's decent. Rebounds, 3rd and 12th. Okay. Yeah, Jordan. He dominating the shooting guards. And could you say he got more comp in his position than Bron? Because what he got, D-Wade, Harden, Kobe, AI. Then probably the next 4 shooting guards. Bron, what you got? If you saying Larry Bird, you can say Larry, KD, Pippen. Who else? What other small forward got crazy stats like that? I don't know.
Jordan is on another level when compared to other shooting guards. He's darn near the top of every major statistical category, and there isn't a single category where LeBron is better than MJ relative to his position, other than assists. So to sum up statistics, whether comparing traditional stats or analytics, and especially when judging these players in the context of the position.
And also, man, in today's NBA, like today, man, I feel like basketball is positionless. You know what I mean? Like, there's positions. But if you're a positionless player, you don't have a position. You just play whatever the team needs. You know what I mean? Like LeBron. You know, some games, y'all ain't got no point guard. Go ahead, Bron. Well, today, our point guard back. Go back small forward. Shit. Oh, we playing with a wing. Bron, go play 2 guard. You know? We ain't got no big. Bron, go be big. You know what I mean? It's positionless. Bron can play every position. So you can't really put his stats in a position. Because there's games where he didn't play small forward. A lot of them. You know what I mean? Let's put that in there, bro.
Played, Jordan has a noticeable edge over LeBron.
Yep.
As such, we have to give the check mark to Jordan.
Go ahead, give it to him. Yep.
And that takes us to the last category in our GOAT analysis, the eye test. And to be clear, by eye test, I don't mean which of these players is bigger, faster, or jumps higher. None of that is relevant unless we're having a track and field competition. And frankly, if physical measurables mattered, then George Murasan would be in the GOAT conversation. No, what I mean by the eye test is, if you sat an average basketball fan in front of a TV to watch a player in action, what would he notice that the player is and is not great at? Thankfully, I happen to be an average basketball fan, and I've had the privilege of watching both LeBron and Jordan during their playing days. So unlike a lot of my fellow YouTubers, I haven't merely relied on highlight videos. Here's what my eyes told me when I saw Michael Jordan play, particularly during his playing days with the Chicago Bulls. He was the best offensive player in the game. He was arguably the best defensive player in the game. He had the best mid-range game. He was the best finisher at the rim. He had the best post-up game, which is incredible considering most players who dominated the post were big men.
Right.
He was widely considered the most clutch player in the game.
He was just the best.
He was regarded by opponents as the fiercest competitor on the court. He was regarded by teammates as the hardest worker in practice. And when all was said and done, amongst the other stars of his generation, he was the greatest winner. Now, when you're playing against the elite of the elite athletes of the world, to be the best at any one of those things is pretty remarkable. But to be the best at all of them, I tell you it's impossible, but for the fact that we saw Michael Jordan do it. And when it comes to the GOAT debate, that's the biggest hurdle facing LeBron. He's basically being compared to a guy who was great at everything and practically had no weaknesses. Seriously, judging by the eye test, what's the worst thing we could say about Michael Jordan's game? Probably that he wasn't a very good three-point shooter. Jordan shot 33% from beyond the arc in an era when the average player also shot 33%. So when it came to three-point shooting, he wasn't good, he wasn't bad, he was just average. But remember that Michael played in an age when the three-point shot wasn't a big part of the game. During Jordan's years, teams averaged only 9.5 three-point attempts per game, and Michael himself attempted less than 2 threes per game. And if being an average three-point shooter is a weakness of Michael's game, well, then we also have to call it a weakness of LeBron's game. The difference is that LeBron plays in an era where the three-point shot is a huge part of the game. During the years in which LeBron played, teams attempted on average over 21 threes per game, and LeBron himself averaged 4.3 three-point attempts per game, or 2.5 times as many as Jordan. Despite the increased emphasis on threes, LeBron's career shooting percentage from beyond the arc is only a hair better than Jordan, at 34%. And it's actually slightly below his peers, who averaged 35% from three during his era. But to reiterate, being an average three-point shooter was by far the worst part of MJ's game. For LeBron, it's not even close.
What's the worst part of
LeBron, in
game?
fact, has 4 major weaknesses as a basketball player,
Or-
each of which is readily apparent to anyone who has actually watched him play. First, he's not a good free throw shooter. For his career, LeBron has shot around 73.5% from the free throw line, which is pretty poor for a player who handles the ball as much as he does. In fact, many analysts point out that, at the end of games, LeBron shies away from driving to the basket because he's afraid of being sent to the line. I don't know whether that's true, but what I do know is that the odds of LeBron hitting 2 consecutive free throws is statistically not much better than a coin flip. Jordan, on the other hand, shot a solid 83.5% from the free throw line during his career.
That's
And
solid.
MJ never shied away from contact at the end of games. LeBron's second weakness is that he's an inconsistent defender. Sure, he's had some years where he was elite defensively, which is evidenced by his numerous selections to the NBA's all-defensive team, but he's also had several years where he's practically been a liability on the defensive end. Compare that to MJ, who during his Bulls days was a consistently elite defender.
Okay, look. I know I keep defending Bron, but this dude, you can't lie, he's biased towards Jordan. So I gotta, if he gonna be biased towards Jordan, I gotta give LeBron's side. First off, he's showing Lakers clips. We all know when LeBron got to the Lakers, there's no defense being played. He's old. He's not playing defense. And then he goes on to say Michael Jordan during his Bulls days. Well, go to his Wizards days. What kind of defense was he playing on the Wizards? I don't know. It might have still been good, but you're not going to bring up his prime days and then show clips of LeBron on the Lakers, though. You know, that's not fair. Because LeBron is a great defender. Come on now. And he's one of the best help side defenders you'll ever see. Coming from that blind side, chase, don't talk about he's the greatest chase down artist ever in basketball, bro. Ever, bro. If you hear them footsteps behind you, bro, don't go up. Because it's going to get stuck on the glass, bro. I'm not going to lie.
In fact, Jordan is the only player to rank in the top 5 amongst all guards in both steals per game and blocks per game for his career. Additionally, Michael led his position in defensive win shares practically every year that he played for the Bulls, an incredible 10 times. LeBron, comparatively, has led his position in defensive win shares on just 4 occasions, and in 5 of his last 7 seasons, he didn't even crack the top 10 at his position in defensive win shares. Now, some will excuse LeBron's recent fall-off on the defensive end as a byproduct of his resting on defense so that he can have more energy on offense. And we can debate the merits of that strategy, but resting on defense is not something Michael Jordan was ever accused of doing. Heck, even as a 40-year-old, he was busting his tail on the defensive end. But what about the notion that LeBron's been the more versatile defender? LeBron supporters will argue that he can guard positions 1 through 5 on the court, such as when he guarded Derrick Rose for stretches in the 2011 playoffs. But LeBron's guarding the opposing team's point guard or center isn't something that happens very often. In fact, during his career, LeBron has spent less than 5% of his total minutes guarding the opposing players 1 or 5. So the versatility argument is highly exaggerated. And look, when it comes to versatility, Hometown Buffet may have a more versatile menu than Spago. That doesn't make it a better restaurant. LeBron's third weakness is that he's not a very good shooter. And this is a pretty significant flaw for someone claiming to be the GOAT. I mean, shooting the ball is the quintessential skill in the game of basketball. It's the part of the game that everyone practices, whether on the playground, at the YMCA, or in the NBA. Now, some people will contend that LeBron is actually a better shooter than Jordan because he has a better career field goal percentage. And yes, LeBron's career field goal percentage is 50.4% compared to Jordan's 49.7%.
Right.
But recall what I said about placing stats into proper context. To help us understand context when it comes to shooting, allow me to introduce DeAndre Jordan and Tyson Chandler.
Right.
We all know that DeAndre and Tyson were great rebounders and defenders. But what if I told you that they were also 2 of the greatest shooters of all time? That would be certifiably crazy. Yet if you look at all the shooting metrics, field goal percentage, effective field goal percentage, true shooting percentage, both of these guys rank near the top in NBA history. Of course.
See, this is like, I know this is like a hypothetical is what he's talking about, but this is where you gotta know basket. This is that separates the guys that know ball and the ones that don't. You know what I mean? Why would we ever bring up DeAndre Jordan and Tyson Chandler about being a efficient scorer, efficient shooter, high percentage? They take only layups and lobs. They get layups and lobs all day. I don't even know what their jump shots look like. You know what I mean? If I don't know what your jump shot look like, why are we talking about your field goal percentage? Because you obviously don't shoot. You know what I mean?
Of course, there's an obvious reason for that. As we all know, both DeAndre Jordan and Tyson Chandler take a lot of their shot attempts on dunks, layups, and putbacks, which are extremely high percentage shots. Well, guess what? So does LeBron James. In fact, every single year of his career, the shot that LeBron James has taken the most has been within 0 to 3 feet from the basket. In other words, dunks, layups, and putbacks. More than 1 of every 3 of LeBron's shots has been within this point-blank range, which is aided by his playing in an era where it's been relatively easy to get to the rim, particularly when compared to the physical era in which Jordan played. And just like every other player, LeBron is really effective from 0 to 3 feet, hitting over 73% of these shots. But how does LeBron fare from outside this range?
Okay. Okay, all right. Bron is getting more layups and dunks because he playing in an era where they shoot more threes. So the defense is worried more about threes because it's more dangerous shooters out there. And you can't leave the shooters. And what does that mean? Bron got a one-on-one. Who's stopping Bron one-on-one? Nobody. Jordan in the era, nobody could shoot. So you pack the paint and you wall up and you get ready for him to drive. So when you do that, what do that lead to? Okay. Fades. Midi. You know what I mean? That's going to leave the middies open. You just got to, you know what I mean? So I don't know what he means with this argument.
According to basketballreference.com, LeBron's shooting percentage from outside 3
LeBron's
feet
6'8".
is 37.5%.
Supposed to get on that rim.
It's even poorer in the playoffs where he shoots 35.9%. And it gets even worse in close and late situations. In the last 2 minutes of games where the score is within 5 points, LeBron hits only 31.7% of his jumpers. Look, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to know that these numbers aren't very good, which is probably why in the 2013 finals, the Spurs' defensive strategy against the Heat was to basically dare LeBron James to shoot. And keep in mind, this was against LeBron in his prime. Can you imagine an opposing coach using a similar strategy against MJ? Now, LeBron actually credits the Spurs for forcing him to work on his jump shot, but it's not as if his results have gotten much better since then. Here's LeBron's shooting percentage from outside 3 feet over the last 6 years. Yikes. Well, I'll give him this, he is consistent. For comparison, consider that in the last year of Michael Jordan's career, as an aging player on the Washington Wizards, Jordan shot close to 42% from outside 3 feet. While that's certainly not great, it means that even as a 40-year-old shell of his former self, Jordan was still a better shooter, a far better shooter than LeBron James. Unfortunately, Basketball Reference doesn't have advanced shooting metrics from Michael's Bulls days, when he was a significantly more efficient scorer, but few would argue that Michael was anything but a lethal jump shooter when he was wearing red and black. When it comes to shooting, all of us can recall practicing shots on the blacktop, counting down 3, 2, 1, before launching a shot at the rim. Well, if you were pretending to be LeBron James, you'd brick almost 2/3 of the time. Actually, that's not entirely true. If you were playing against a countdown, it would be much, much worse. And that gets me to the last major weakness of LeBron's game, his performance, or more accurately, lack of performance, in the clutch. Remember when people were praising LeBron for making a couple of buzzer beaters in the playoffs 2 years ago? They used these stats to claim that LeBron was better in the clutch than Jordan. But look at these numbers carefully. What stands out to you? How about this? People were using a sample size of less than 1 shot per season to make the case that LeBron was more clutch than Jordan. That would be the equivalent of polling just 100 people in the country to try to predict the winner of the next presidential election. So let's use more telling stats, shall we? Here's a situation that's often used to determine a player's clutchness. 5 seconds to go in the fourth quarter or overtime, and your team needs a bucket to either win or tie the game. It answers the age-old question, who do you want taking the last shot with the game on the line? It turns out that in the regular season and playoffs combined, LeBron has taken 94 such shots. That's a pretty good sample size. And how many of those 94 shots has LeBron made? 19.
Jeez.
For a shooting percentage of 20%. Let me repeat that. 20%. Guys, that's not bad in the clutch. That's atrocious. Michael Jordan in the same situation shot roughly 50%. Yes, that's right. Jordan's performance under pressure was the same as it was throughout the rest of the game. And that, my friends, is the definition of clutch. So there you go. When it comes to the eye test, our eyes tell us that one player, Michael Jordan, is great at everything and has practically no weaknesses. And the other player, LeBron James, while also having a ton of strengths, has several obvious flaws to his game. And when all is said and done, after analyzing the 5 key factors of being the GOAT, Jordan gets 4 check marks to LeBron's 1, making this GOAT debate, well, not much of a debate at all.
Jeez.
Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that LeBron James is a bad player. He's a phenomenal player.
Like.
Personally, I have him on basketball's Mount Rushmore, along with Jordan, Kareem, Wilt Chamberlain, and Bill Russell. He's just not Michael.
This is one of the worst Rushmores I've never seen in my life. Yeah, I mean, no hating. We have to have Bron Jordan. Let's put Larry on there. And let's put, who's our fourth? Who's our fourth guy? Sheesh. I don't know who that fourth guy is, man. Who's that fourth guy after Larry? I don't know. Y'all let me know. But, the big man, nah, I can't do that. Can't do that.
Jordan. And just to underscore how good MJ was, let's ignore LeBron and Jordan for a minute and focus on the other 3 players highlighted here, Kareem, Wilt, and Bill Russell. I thought it was only supposed to be 4 on the Rushmore. Most would agree that these are the 3 greatest centers in NBA history, and each of them has a strong case to justify his standing among basketball royalty. Wilt is an all-time great because he was an offensive force of nature, and he holds a ton of NBA records. Russell is in the conversation because he was a dominant defender and a perennial champion. Kareem also led his team to numerous titles, and in terms of individual awards and accolades, was the most decorated of the 3. Not to mention, he had the NBA's most unguardable shot. Now imagine a center that had all the best qualities from these 3 titans.
Have y'all ever seen like somebody do the hook shot, Kareem hook shot? Like, have y'all ever seen that? Have you ever seen somebody do that consistently? Like, I wonder why nobody tries that. Like, try to make that their signature. Because I feel like it's unguardable. And he the only player in NBA history that can do it. But on 2K, everybody can do it. How does that make sense? There's only one player ever that can make that shot on a day-to-day basis. But you get on 2K, everybody can do it. If you just make a big, fat paint beast. I'm sorry, y'all. My fault. Hey, 2K trash, though. 2K trash.
A player like that would be the basketball equivalent of Thanos. Now add to that player the highest level of intangible attributes, such as a tireless work ethic, unmatched killer instinct, and an ability to deliver in the clutch. And now you'd essentially be looking at Thanos with all of the Infinity Stones. And no one would question whether this player was the greatest of all time.
It's not my player.
But the truth is, we don't have to imagine such a player. That player already existed.
Ooh.
He just happened to be a shooting guard, not a center. When you think about it, Michael Jordan is the real-life version of an overpowered video game character. He had all the qualities we look for in a superstar athlete, and he had it in spades. He's basically Babe Ruth, if Babe Ruth played defense like Willie Mays. And that's why, even in comparison to the other all-time greats, he is truly in a class of his own. Simply put, he's the GOAT.
say anything else in here? Alright. Okay. We don't need to watch no more. Okay. So, the GOAT comparison, man. We just watched it together, man. Do y'all agree with him? I'm not gonna lie, bro. My GOAT, like the greatest of all time, bro. I would say Michael Jordan, right? Yeah, that's right. That's the greatest ever. But at the beginning of the video, he said better basketball player. You know what I mean? And I do not believe Michael Jordan is a better basketball player. He's the greater player, you know, in the NBA. But better if today they said everybody in their prime, pick your player who you want to start your team with on this fantasy draft. I'm not getting Jordan. I'm getting LeBron. You know what I mean? So I don't know if he defeated his purpose saying just better basketball player. He should have just kept it at GOAT. Jordan's a GOAT. LeBron's a better basketball player. Let's keep it at that. They both great. Let's you know what I mean? Let's appreciate two great basketball players, two once in a lifetime generational athletes right here. But man, that's all I gotta say for the video. If you liked the video, if you made it all the way, comment WVid, you know, or W debate. Comment W debate if you made it this far. I appreciate you for making it this far. I hope you have a good day. I hope you have a good weekend. You know what I mean? Hey, and clip your toenails, bro. Your girl told me you got holes in your socks. But let me get a like. Let me get a subscribe. We on the road to 10K. We dropping every day. I'm going to see y'all tomorrow. I might see y'all later today if I do another video. I don't know. I got some stuff to do. If I can get back to y'all, I will. But regardless, I'm going to see y'all tomorrow. With that being said, man, I'm out.